Well, joining us tonight in our Packers fan Zoom of the week is a friend from our high school hometown, Case. And since they played the Eagles and we were the Eagles, I figured why not have a former Eagle on the show, Olympian, volleyball player, and current coach Tom Sorensen. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Bert?
Good. Celebrating a Packers win like most fans, I assume you are. What did you think of Sunday's game against Philly?
Well, I think like everyone else, we felt like we were in complete control the entire time, and then it was just like, uh-oh. And then luckily Aaron Jones made that nice long run to clinch it for us. But I felt pretty good about it almost the entire time, so it was nice.
Now, what do you think about this team compared to last year? They were 9-3, 3/4 of the way through the season, same mark as they had this year. Compare the two teams, and do they have a shot in what seems to be a completely wide-open NFC?
I really like our chances. I felt last year, like I was happy with last year going 13-3, but I really felt like, even though we were 13-3, I felt like we were one of the most flawed 13-3 teams ever. We won a lot of one-score games, and it didn't feel like we dominated. You think of a 13-3 team, you think of a team that's dominating teams, where I felt like we were just eking things out, and things were just kind of falling our way a lot. Where this year, I feel like in our wins, we're fairly close to dominating most of the time, and it's been kind of fun that way. So I feel like this team is better. Even though we don't stop the run very well, we do get turnovers and stuff. I think our quarterbacks hold up pretty well. So, there's that one really bad game against Tampa Bay, but, those happen all the time. See the Steelers today,
Yep. Well, yeah, exactly. And we saw those 13-3 teams in 96 and 97 with Brett Favre when they not only won the Super Bowl and then ended up losing to Denver. It just doesn't have that same feel like they dominate like the way those teams did. But as they go down the stretch here, they definitely have a chance to run the table and maybe get that number one seed. If they do so, do you see them being in Tampa for the Super Bowl this year?
I'd like the chances. I think the Saints still play Kansas City coming up. So you gotta hope that Kansas City pulls it off against the Saints, and then we have the tiebreaker with the Saints, which we beat them earlier here, and then hopefully get the bye, which is a huge advantage. Then you get all home field coming to Green Bay, which makes you gotta feel really good about the Packers' chances there.
If you could have dinner for four with three Packers all time, who would you pick?
Wow. Well, and we could talk about anything. You gotta have Favre in there because he's gotta have just so many unbelievable stories. Same reason, probably Paul Hornung. Probably got some great stories too. And then, I always like William Henderson and Donald Driver.
Great guys. Both of them very fun, natural, and as genuine as can be. That's a good show. Well, we'll just have to make it. We'll have to make it a table for five then.
I always felt like William Henderson was kind of the unheralded guy. He was that guy who'd make a big third down catch or something like that when you really needed it. You'd pull him out in those times. He always made those big blocks. And, he had Edgar Bennett and Dorsey Levens behind him running for all those yards.
And Amon Green, too.
Yeah, for sure.
He blocked for three of the best backs in history. Now, look, back in the day, you could have been a power forward in basketball, maybe a tight end in football, but you chose volleyball, and that ended up taking you literally around the entire world. You were an Olympian. You played Division I at Pepperdine. Reflect on your career on the volleyball court, because up in these parts, it's not really that much of a popular sport. It's more of a Madison, Milwaukee, Chicago sport.
Well, it's getting there. There's some Appleton up there getting some players. There's some pretty good club teams that are starting to build up there. So it's been fun to watch because, I graduated high school in '89. There were no club teams back then. There was no Milwaukee Volleyball Club. There was no Sting. They're only for Sting had girls at that time, I think, but not for guys. So it's been fun to watch the growth of men's volleyball, boys volleyball as the years have gone on. Because when I went up to Pepperdine, I was kind of the first of Wisconsin guys going out to California. Jeff Nygaard came the year after me, who was in the Olympics for a couple of years. He went to Madison La Follette. And then it was fun for years to watch how, I'd see teams, I'd look at their roster, and I'd always see a guy from, West Dallas, a guy from Cedarburg, a guy from, went from only I was out there from Wisconsin to seeing almost every team had a guy or two from Wisconsin. It just kind of grew and grew and grew. So I always half-kiddingly call myself the godfather of Wisconsin boys volleyball because, being the first one, I feel like hopefully I opened the doors for other people to do the same thing I did.
Well, this year, they were supposed to have the Olympics in Japan. It got pushed back, obviously, 1 year due to the coronavirus. What does our men's Olympic volleyball team look like this year?
Our men's team is talented. Like I feel the head coach John Speraw is going to have some really tough decisions because we have a lot of really good volleyball players that probably deserve to make that team, but they only have room for 12 guys, so it's going to be, I think, tooth and nail for eking out those last spots on the team, and a team that is definitely in medal contention, if not in gold medal contention.
Very nice. Tom Sorensen, Racine native, Packers fan, former Olympian. You're our fan Zoom of the week. Appreciate your time.
Go Pack.
Go Pack.
And that's how most fans view it. Great guy.
Great guy. And the list of the players that he would have dinner with,
Right?
unbelievable list.
Well, you got to go with Favre and Horning for sure. And then after that, if you got to, I mean, he had William and Donald, both cool dudes.
Great guys, great ambassadors,
I
great
thought-
stories.
I thought he was going to do, kissing up and maybe say George Kuntz.
Oh man,
you
yeah,
know?
we could do breakfast.
Breakfast and then lunch. All right, when we come back, we'll have our keys to beating the Lions. Plus, we'll take a look around the NFL. You're watching Locker Room live here at the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center.